We are now talking to Linfield University offensive guard Matthew Metcalf. What's going on, Matt?
How you doing, guys? Glad to be here.
Absolutely, man. Are you a better DJ than this guy? Because if you are, I'll hire you because this guy's terrible.
I mean, I can learn. I'm pretty adaptable. So.
Oh, well, hopefully you don't make as many mistakes as
I peaked on the weekend crunch, obviously.
Oh, you peaked all right.
Eric was even praising me for that.
Really?
Eric? Eric, yeah.
Oh, wow.
He complimented me on the music choice.
Well, that was about it. I
told you I peaked on the weekend crunch.
You peaked, but you need to learn how to blend, okay? Slowly mellow out into the music. Anyways, Matt, how are you and your family doing with this pandemic?
I'm doing good. I actually worked all summer, and my family hasn't been impacted much by it, but we're all doing well.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. And you've been playing for Linfield University for a couple of years. What was it like when Linfield came and sat down and talked to you and your family about coming and playing Division III football with Linfield?
They actually make sure we know that it's a family atmosphere, and their biggest thing they want us to do is get a degree in 4 years and have one of the most prestigious degrees in all of Oregon. And I know Linfield's a great college, and while having great academics, this has the longest winning streak in the country, and that was super important for me.
You talk about Division III. Obviously, the path to the NFL is going to be a lot tougher for a Division III team. And, again, we've seen some instances of it. Most recently, Ali Marpet, who I'll get to later, who was a second-round pick. Well, actually, one of the Giants to draft if they didn't end up getting Landon Collins in that draft. So what do you think the journey will be like in being you played 2 years already for your school. Are you thinking about that kind of journey? And if so, what do you think it would take?
I have been thinking about it. I'm a little undersized to be an offensive lineman. I'm not that tall, but I'll keep the door open to it to make sure to keep the route going there. You have to keep your mind open to things and make sure you reach out to coaches and people you know to get your path there.
Sheldon, he comes from Sheldon High School. He comes from Sheldon High School.
What is up with you and names
Comes
today?
from Sheldon High School.
You go from Sean to, you're all over the place, man.
He's the Division III guy.
Jeez, man.
It's a little bit hard to get
If it's not Speedy screwing up on blending music, it's you calling people completely different names. I'm lost.
Well, at least now I can refer to him in different ways.
I am lost. Well,
no worries,
so from Sheldon High School. Now, Sheldon, where is that located?
It's located in Eugene, just like a couple miles down from U of O.
And it said you competed in track and field for your size. Was it what type of things did you compete with? Were you involved in track, like sprinting or javelin or what?
In high school, I actually did football, basketball, wrestling, and track. Wrestling from sophomore year on, and basketball only freshman year. But for track, I did shot put, javelin, hammer, and disc in high school. And now in college, I'm doing just javelin and hammer.
And so what do you like exactly about the javelin? How would you prepare to throwing a javelin? I mean, what are the things that you would throw instead if you didn't have one?
You can't really throw much besides a javelin for that kind of thing, but there has been people that have carved sticks and just prepare themselves to throw something long and just be explosive. That's the main thing for javelin. Be explosive and be high twitch.
Where exactly do you get your power from? You get it more from your legs or you get it more from your upper body?
It's more from your legs. It's actually more of a whip, and your legs are actually driving you to the end of the runway, and it's all coming down in one big force, and it's whipping through your arm, and it should be 80% legs, 20% arm.
As you guys know, we are talking to Linfield University offensive guard Matthew Metcalf. Now, Matthew, how tall are you?
I'm 6'1", maybe 6'2". Depends on the day.
Oh,
but
well,
65.
Well, we could put Speedy as your platform, and you can throw 2 or 3 inches. What do you think about that?
Exactly.
We'll tie him to the bottom of your feet. How's that sound?
That sounds good to me.
Well, 6'2", you could be a guard in the NFL. Absolutely. I've seen guards at 6'2", very successful guards in the NFL. Actually, Hall of Famers that have made it to the NFL at 6'2" and been very successful at the guard position.
Wasn't like Bruce Matthews or something?
Bruce Matthews yep.
Under 300 pounds and like 6'2".
Wasn't Saturday too? He was a center.
Yeah, right.
Jeff Saturday was 6'2", 6'1", very successful NFL player, a Hall of Famer. Jeff Saturday is going to be a Hall of Famer. Absolutely. So you could play in the NFL. It all takes heart and determination. If you have the heart and determination, you could do it. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Now, when you decided to play college football, now you probably had an opportunity to get scholarships in other schools playing other sports. What made you decide to go to Linfield University out of all the other schools that were interesting? Probably a Division II or maybe even a Division I school that might have wanted you for track.
I actually fell in love with the atmosphere at Linfield. So, the coaches, the players, when I went on my visit, they all made me feel like I was wanted and home. And I was being told by my coach that he seriously wants me, and I'm high on his list. And so I wanted to go play for someone who wanted me the most.
You're high. I'm high on your list, and you're high on my list. I'm hooking you up as my producer, my new producer, because I think you could blend music better than this guy over here. What do you say about that?
I'm down for that.
Oh, there you go. So I'll teach you a little DJing skills, and then when you graduate from school, you can come and work for me.
There you go.
There you go.
Like that, yeah.
So I was mentioning earlier Ali Marpet as being the last successful D3 to go into the NFL. Is he somebody that you model your game around as an offensive guard? And he's a versatile guy. He can also play center. He can also play tackle. Is he somebody you model your game around, watching him, and maybe give you the confidence that somebody at the D3 level can be drafted in the NFL and be a good player in the NFL? And also, are there any other influences that you might have?
I haven't watched his film much, but it was pretty inspirational to see a D3 athlete go that high around. And some guy I really model my game after, and he's pretty young, but it's Quentin Nelson. That guy's the most dominant NFL lineman right now. And watching him play my position, it's fun to watch.
He's not that big either. I think he's 6'3".
Yeah, he's more of a technique guy. So,
yeah, he's big and strong. He's got strong hands. Strong hands. I heard Quentin Nelson could break it. He could put not an acorn. What do they call those? Walnuts between his fingers and break them with his fingers. So jeez. That's how strong that kid is. So you don't necessarily have to be big to play the position. You just have to technically be sound, and you can do it. I believe anybody could do anything if you put your mind to it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's one thing I really focus myself on is quick feet and technique, and that's what helps me dominate. I'm not going to overstrength you. I'm not going to be that guy who's just so much bigger than you. I'm just going to out-technique you and outsmart you.
So, Matt, what professional teams are you interested in that you've grown up in Oregon that you follow currently?
I'm actually a Packers fan.
Another Packers fan.
Wow, look at this.
Two on the same show.
Yeah.
Two on the same show. We got to hook them up. We got to hook them up as friends, man. One going to Navy, one's in Linfield.
One defense,
Packer
one
fans.
offense.
Yeah, there you go. No, they're both defensive players. Oh, he's
offensive
offensive.
player.
That's right. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right.
Talk about me getting the names wrong.
Oh, listen. You want to know something, man?
Get the position right, Errol.
I'm sweating, man. This humidity is killing me now. It is absolutely
no
killing me.
fed in here. It's really hard. You got the light on you. It's much worse.
Here's the problem. When you're in the studio, you can't have any fan and you can't have any air conditioning on because it takes the sound. It drives the sound through the system. So you can't have it. So we blast the air conditioner before the show, and then all of a sudden we're in the studio, we're sweating our butts off throughout the 2-hour show. So unfortunately, you're going to have to deal with an angry Errol. Okay? Anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, seeing your background there, there's American flag and being part, growing up in Oregon, what's the society like in there? What's your town like? Could you tell us something about where you come from?
I'm actually from Eugene, Oregon, so it's a decently large town. So, I've never dealt with any adversity or anything like that. So I've always grown up to be patriotic. My dad was served in the Navy, actually. Mm-hmm. So
figure that one out. We just interviewed a guy that's going to Navy. So there you go.
Yeah.
So go ahead. I'm sorry. What a coincidence.
Yeah, so I always believe in, like Patrick said, be colorblind and just love everyone around you, and that's the best way to not be hated at all and just to be a good person to others.
Now, did you ever think about playing, when you grew up, did you imagine playing college football, or is there some other sport that you wanted to play?
Yeah, I actually wanted to do track and football in college, no matter where I went, and that's what I've always dreamed about.
Well, I know I read a little bit about him. He also, his career when he's done with school, his dreams is to be a male stripper, right?
Exactly.
See,
It brings in the
I
money.
didn't want to bring that up. I figured you'd just tell us.
I knew it. I didn't want to say it until we move forward with our questions.
That's not a question you normally ask. He has to say it himself.
Well, he did.
I
He
want
did
to put him on the spot.
Mark,
Yeah.
only Errol's allowed to say. It would have been way too awkward if we said it.
If you ever watch our show, Matt, I am a little outlandish and crazy. So, unfortunately, that's how we keep people watching and keep people occupied. So there you go.
So you mentioned you grew up in Eugene, Oregon, which is where the University of Oregon is. Have you had any experiences going to their games, seeing their games, and some of the great players they've had over the years? Because they were the best team in the Pac-12 for a long time, and that was probably a lot when you were a kid. So what were some of those experiences like?
Yeah, I went to many games as a kid, usually 2 to 3 games a year. I mean, watching guys like Jake Fisher, Marcus Mariota, and all those guys, great teams, some of the greatest in the country every year. And watching Chip Kelly's offense just run on teams all day long. It was pretty exciting to watch.
We are talking to Linfield University offensive guard Matthew, a.k.a. male stripper Metcalf. There you go.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mark.
Like Joey Harrington, a guy that went to Oregon, is from the area. Does he still in the community? Did you watch him growing up, or was he a little too before your time?
He was right as I started watching football, and he was exciting to watch for sure. I mean, he's one of the greatest players in Oregon history, and I know he's done a lot for our community, and he still is doing things for our community.
So you choose them over Oregon State? I know there's a pretty heated rivalry there.
Oh, for sure. Definitely all Oregon.
It's funny because we had the starting future tight end for Oregon and starting future tight end for Oregon State on 2 different shows, and I want to have a TikTok dance-off. So if we could find an offensive lineman that go against you on a TikTok dance-off, do you think you will dance off for us on our TikTok state?
I mean, not to be too braggy, but I feel like I'm a pretty good dancer.
Really?
We already know he's a better DJ.
Really?
I mean, if you can find someone, I'll challenge him for sure.
I could find somebody, actually, and I will take that bet on that. And I'll tell you this, whoever wins we're going to have, what I'm trying to do right now, I'm talking to Jillian about it, we're trying to get a lot of these recruits. We have some of the top recruits. I want to get like a competition and have a round robin and put them against each other all the way to the finals. And the winner will, I'll give like a $500
dance competition.
Yeah, a dance competition, and post it up on TikTok and throughout our social media. I think it'd be really
get some views.
Oh, absolutely. And I think a lot of these kids have their own personalities, and I'd like to see them bring out their personality. So they'll be like a 500 winning prize or something like that. I'll figure something out, but I already talked to Jillian about that. So would you be interested in joining us?
For sure. I'm all about competition. So
what type of music would you dance to then? Would it be like classic rock,
any
or
type,
would it be rap?
any type.
Or
Any type, really. What kind of music do you
I'm a
listen
country
to?
guy myself.
Could you get down to Beethoven then, maybe?
Hey, you never know. I mean, a slow dance maybe.
So you have a cowboy hat? Do you have one over there?
I do.
Let's see it. Let's see your cowboy hat. I want to see this thing. I have to see this thing. I'm sorry. Your cowboy boots, cowboy hats. I mean,
While we wait for him to come back on.
there it is.
There he is.
There he is. Look at that hat, man. Look at that hat. What are you, Clint Eastwood?
It's a little small on my head now because of my hair, but yeah.
I mean, hey man, when with this pandemic, you have to grow the hair out. I mean, seriously.
Exactly.
But hopefully, if you came to New York, we're all about our fades over here. You would have to get a fade. You'd have to get a fade.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
I'm
a
gonna
fade.
get one soon.
So, by the way, when we were talking about the TikTok thing, I think Carlton Lorenz, he was from Oregon too, so maybe it'll be those two.
That would be good. I think it would be really, really fun to see some of you guys bring out your personalities. And I think we were interviewing Devin Kirkwood, and he is the 13th top prospect in the country. And we had a conversation. His mom came in and she says, well, what is he going to get out of it? I said, well, I don't know what he's going to get out of it. We don't know yet. But I did promise him that if he gets 4 to 5 interceptions his first year of football, that I will send him a 6-month supply of gummy bears, which is his favorite snack to eat.